So now, when we have our one-day seminar, or actually 3-hour seminar is what we've got right now, what can people expect to learn from that?
So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to focus on two things. First of all, I'm going to provide an overview of what I call the different practices that I've got in my work in the area of strategy. So I'll touch on the strategic game plan stuff, and I'll touch on marketing and sales and serving customers, not customer service. There's a big difference that I talk about. So we'll go through that so people get a perspective of the work. Then I drill down on the only statement, okay, and actually show people how to create it and allow people to practice it. So they walk out of the session with hopefully a general understanding of my work, as well as a draft-only statement that they can work on back home. So that's what they're going to do. I try and tell people, don't be afraid if you can't nail the only right away. In fact, if you think you have, you probably missed something. It's really difficult. The important part is for people to start the journey. Start the journey. Make it matter. Work with it. Learn from it. Work with your customers on it, because a big piece for me is you got to test this stuff. You got to take it out and test it, and be prepared to modify through customer engagement. That's the piece that's important. It's not nailing it because that's a perfectionist, right? We all know that doesn't exist. And so I allow people to fail. If you're not making mistakes, it's a mistake.
They're evolving.
Got to learn from it. So, and I call it planning on the run. I mean, it's like about plan, execute, learn, adjust, execute, learn, and adjust, and that never ends. People say, well, when does it end? I said, it never ends. As long as you are in business, it should never end. If you think it's over, then you probably will be over. That's the sadness of it. So in 3 hours, they can get a lot of stuff, and it's not complicated. My work is different than a lot of work in two ways. First of all, it's not a theoretical treatise, right? It's practical, simple stuff that I've done, all founded on good business principles, but it's practical and proven. So people can walk away trusting that if they do this, it will work, because I spent my whole life doing it. That's what makes me different than others.
So now, if they read your book, should they read the book first? Or should they read the book, like they're going to get a book, they're going to get a copy of the book with the seminar?
I think the right approach is, let's do the seminar. This is a handout. It's a really cool looking handout. Give them the handout.
Yeah. And plus you've got a little workbook too that we were.
Plus the learning guide is there as well that you've got, I think. And then there's other tools, like my website is all about providing people tools, like a blog, right? It comes at the stuff in the book at varying degrees and varying angles, right? There's a lot of people who read it now, and so it's a really interesting way to learn this stuff. There's a Be Different or Be Dead quiz on the site. You go on there and you can find out if you're different or if you're dead. It's kind of a fun thing. And people can do that. In fact, I would recommend that they do that before they come to the workshop.
Okay.
It's just a way for them to rate themselves on the principles in my work. And it's intended to point them in an area that they think has the largest gap between what they're doing and what my work suggests.
So now the Be Different, Be Dead quiz, can they print it out?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they could bring it out, they could do it, bring it out, and bring it to the
They could do that.
seminar.
Yeah, they could do that, and it's kind of a fun thing, and it's non-threatening too, right? Because you can do it in the quietness of the evening, and nobody's there to see how you're rating yourself. It's fun, and there's other things like there's information there on what other people have said about the work and how it's affected them. And that kind of like credibility is important, because people build trust in the work if they see other people getting value from it. And then there's something that I call Connect, and what all it is a free service where, for example, if you have an issue and all you want is another set of eyes to look at it very quickly, a set of eyes that's kind of been there and done it, it's called Ask Roy. You just give me the question, and I'm all over it all the time. I get back as soon as I can, and it's kind of like a Twitter's version of a consulting solution. It's an opinion, right? Oh my God! You should see the stuff I get. People are sending me their only statements. Roy, what do you think about this? And I get personnel questions. God, I'm not in the personnel business, but they trust me, right? And so that's another tool.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make myself available.
So now with the Connect, there's no charge for that. People can just do that. Are their comments put out on the web, or they're just individual?
They just connect with me, give me the thing, then we connect on, then we just communicate on email. And so it's all confidential, and I respect that. That's the only way it works.
So ideally, if a company was going to come to our management seminar, they should get 3 or 4 key people. They should get them all to do the little quiz, compare the notes, and then bring it to the seminar and get the most out of it.
Absolutely. I encourage people to come as teams because they can work on the only statement as a team as opposed to an individual. It's okay to do it as an individual, but if you've got 2 or 3 people there from the same company, then it's kind of like like a cool group learn that they can take back. And hopefully they'll say, wow, this is a good experience. I'm going to get more people involved in this. And they can either do it themselves, because it's not complicated, or they can ask for help.
So then at the seminar, will they have little time periods where people can get together in a little group? Like we'll break it off a little bit?
We'll break after we talk. The first piece is like a presentation from me. We'll break after that, because people need to get the foundation of what's in here before we dig into the only statement. And then, we have work sessions in actually creating the only statement. And so we'll break out, and they'll do this, and we'll talk about it. I walk around and help each of the groups, and we kind of do it that way. We'll try and make it as intimate as we can. But, depending on how many people are there, I mean, it generally works really well. People walk away going, wow, that's a pretty cool idea. I think I'll try that.